as it really helps my channel. Also, don't forget the notification bell. Thanks. So guys, it's April. That means the Reddit Fantasy Bingo Challenge is back on in a new way, because every year the squares are different, and this year I have decided to join for the first time. So the first across is an LGBTQIA book. I haven't bought it yet, but I am planning to do Shades of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Small synopsis: Kel is one of the Antari magicians, and they can travel between different versions of London. On one side, he's a diplomat for the royal family into which he has been adopted. On the other hand, he's a smuggler. Guess which side will get him into trouble. Second across, Weird Ecology. I have thought of doing Dune, but of course, as I've been reading that already, it was out of the question. I've decided to do Brandon Sanderson's new secret project, the first one, Tress of the Emerald Sea. And short synopsis is that when a girl's love interests get sent off to die by his father, the Duke, she goes and rescue him. It's a weird ecology because the seas are made out of pollen. There are 12 moons, and those pollen grow or explode or have different reactions to water, but they get extinguished by salt. And the seas are made of those pollen, and the land is made out of sandstone and not soil. No, not sandstone, saltstone and not soil. So this one counts as well for the hard mode. The third one, is 2 or more authors, different authors of course, on the same book. As I've just started Daughter of the Empire, this one counts. It's by Janny Wirtz and Raymond Feist. And if it doesn't, I'm going to read Servant of the Empire anyways, so at least one of these two will count. This one's about a young girl that unexpectedly becomes the leader of her house, except that her house has been practically demolished, so she has to rebuild it from the ground up. The fourth square, the first line across, is historical, sci-fi, or fantasy. And for this one, I actually already have the book. It's called Master of Jinn. And this is some kind of whodunit murder mystery mixed in with a bit of Portal, I think. Because the killer actually is the person, or implies he's the person, or tries to make us believe he's the person that opened a portal between the mundane and magical world. And it's a whodunit mystery. So this one is actively one off of my shelf and off of my TBR. So finally I'm starting to read some of my owned books instead of actively buying new ones and borrowing new ones and neglecting my own books. The last one for the first row across is set in space with a bit of a twist. Well, not really a twist, but it has to be at least half on a ship or in space itself, you know. So I opted for Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I will have to get that as well. I hope the library will have it. It's been on my TBR for a long time. So yeah, an astronaut with a mission to save the world wakes up with amnesia and doesn't remember he has to save the world. Suspense, I hope. But apparently it's great. So I will finally get reading to that one. Then there's the second of the 5 lines across, First Square, and it's standalone. And for this one, I have opted to pick out Pernesi. Same story as Master of Jinn. Supposed to be great, has been on my shelf for ages, it's on my TBR. Not really a tough choice, actually, because it's been there for ages as well. Anti-hero book is the second one, and I've chosen for A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I bought this last year, just for fun, and it qualifies. I haven't read it yet, but apparently it's with a Hogwarts that wants to kill you, and our anti-hero main character has the power to destroy everything. It is the start of a series. I think the second book is already released. I Don't know about the third one, but I'm very sure the second one has been released already. Third one, for Second Across, a book club or read-along book. Cersei by Madeline Miller. It was the read-along for, what? I can't remember. It was a Goodreads read-along. I think it was one of the first ones even, for the book club of Reddit in 2018. By Madeline Miller, of course. It's a retelling of the story that captured Odysseus' men and turned them into pigs, I think. I bought this one late last year. Might have been January, not sure. But it's been sitting on my shelf, so yeah. I have promised myself, this was one of my New Year's resolutions, that I would try to read more of my own books instead of just waiting and buying new ones, as I just mentioned. Cool Weapon is the next one. And I picked 9 Princes in Amber by Roger Zelazny. The first book in the Amber Chronicles, and our main character has a soul called Grey Swan Deer. Hey kitty. Oh, he's wet. Oh, it's raining outside. I think he just played outside. And he has a weapon with the magical property to be summoned in every shadow of the world. And every shadow of the world is essentially just a multiverse. I have bought The Great Book of Amber, the end of March. By the time this video arrives or gets uploaded, I will probably already have it in my possession, but I don't have it yet because I ordered it on Thursday and it has, 3 or 4 days, working days, so it should be delivered tomorrow for me, or day after tomorrow for me, so which is Tuesday or Wednesday. So by the time you see it, I will already have this book. And the last one in the second row is Rebellion or Revolution, and I picked the hard mode where it's the main plot of the book, and this one is Golden Sun, you know, the second book in the Red Rising trilogy. Considering I just read the Red Rising trilogy, this one was not a tough choice, because I liked it. Third row across, this is a book I have, again, luckily. It's name in the title, and I have chosen for Gideon, not the 9th, but the Cut Purse. This is a time travel fantasy sci-fi. I think it's sci-fi. I don't think there's magic. Yeah, it's by a machine. So anti-gravity machine catapults Peter and Kate back to the 18th century. And they have to find the criminal that steals their time machine with the help of Gideon, who is a reformed cut purse. And it's also the beginning of a series because there's a sequel called The Tar Man. And the Tar Man will probably be the villain of this book, if I had read the blurb correctly on the back of it. Then we have the author uses initials. This one is the same story as most of these, actually. It was on my shelf and it qualifies, and I haven't read it yet. House in Cerulean Sea by Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Oh, that was my voice. This one is supposed to be a great, short, comfy read as well, so I'm very looking forward to this one. It's about this guy who works at the Department for Magical Youth, and he has to babysit 6 orphans, one of which is the Antichrist, and then there's this gay romance with Dr. Parnassus, I think. Yeah, something like that. For the book that will be published in 2022, I am not sure yet which one I'll read, but it's in between Illborn, Justice of Kings, and The Age of Ash. Age of Ash has already been released, so has Justice of King. I think all 3 of them have been released already. I haven't bought either of them, so yeah, this one is probably something I'll keep for November or December, because many great books will be released this year, and I like to have a choice. For urban fantasy, I had no choice. Well, I did, but you know, I had never read the Dresden Files. And guess what? I had the first book on my shelf as well. So Stormfront is my urban fantasy book pick for the bingo. Which one's next? Set in Africa is the last one for the third row. This is also a book I have. It's Tim Powers' Gates of Anubis. This one is partly set in London, partly set in Egypt, and it's time travel as well. So yeah, considering he wrote On Stranger Tides, you know, the movie that has, the book that Pirates of the Caribbean adapted. I think it was, in 2014, 15, something like that. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Well, it's about 7 or 8 years ago. And that was his novel as well. So I have bought this book years ago. So it's been sitting on my shelf, on my TBR, and it qualifies. So yeah, New Year's resolution, check for now. We have the fourth across. That's non-human protagonists. I don't have it yet, but it's the Book of the Night Moon by Diane Duane. It's wizard cats. Come on. See him in a hat? Yeah, this will be awesome. So yeah, it wasn't a tough choice, that is all. Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey is the second one, and I will pick Mother of Learning for this one. I have ordered the Arc 1. It's by, what's his name again? It was Nobody 103, but his real name is, Domagoy Kurmaik, I think it's pronounced. It was a web novel, but it's now published traditionally, and it's about a mage who gets killed just before he goes to school, and he gets caught in a time loop and wakes up every time back at the beginning of the month. And repetition is the mother of learning, so apparently, yeah, it's a progression fantasy, so he'll become way, way stronger apparently. Haven't read it, but it's been on my TBR for now. Well, for some time now. So yeah, this one's kind of on my New Year's resolution because it's been on my TBR, but I don't own the book. It's kind of in the middle. The short stories that comprise the middle square, I think I'll just read some short stories out of what's the Asrian Portal website. They publish a lot of short stories, and yeah, I don't know. By the way, he's called Simba. And he's ginger, and I think he's about 14 years old, so he's older than some of the books in here. Yeah, short stories, I'll just read some of them, and then I'll just keep you posted at the end of the month or something like that. I'll read it when I have time, or when I feel like it. I might read some today, who knows? I'll just have to keep note of them. That'll be the tough part. Then the feature mental health one is The Magicians by Lev Grossman, often described as Harry Potter for adults meets Chronicles of Narnia, I guess. This one handles depression and escapism, and it's been on my TBR and my wish list for ages as well. I haven't bought it yet. I hope I'll get it for my birthday, which is this month. I believe I'm getting a surprise book box because my girlfriend told me it's something I will love. She's sure I will love it, but she doesn't know what it is. So I asked her if it was a surprise metal vinyl box, as you have most likely seen behind me, and she said it's not, so I think it's books because she doesn't know either, so it's surprise. But who knows, maybe one of these is in there. For the self-published one, I chose Will White's Dread God. I have all the other books, I have read all the other books, and I've been waiting for this. I hope it'll come out this summer. I think the last one was in September or October, I believe. I'm not sure. It was late last year anyway. So this one will probably come out this summer, and I will be reading it as soon as I can. For the last row, I have most of them. Let me just reach without disturbing this little ginger here. And I dropped one. There we go. The award finalist, but not one, Good Omens by Gaiman and Pratchett. This is the same story. It's been on my shelf. Well, yeah, you see here, soon to be a TV series, and it's been years since. So, yeah, this has been sitting on my shelf for a few years and on my TBR, and it qualifies. Good thinking. A Wizard of Earthsea is actually for shapeshifters. Third square, which means I skipped the second square. It has a werebear in it, apparently, and it's been on my shelf for a few months as well. So this one's going on the list. The second square is a BIPOC actor, author. BIPOC being black, indigenous, I think is the correct pronunciation, or a POC, person of color. And I have chosen Andrea Stewart with The Bone Shard Daughter. I haven't bought it either, but I will have to, I think, because I don't believe the library will have it. She's a Chinese-American writer, and the book is about the daughter of the emperor that doesn't qualify as an heir. So in order to prove she is qualified, she tries and master the bone shard magic that her father has. All the while, a revolution is brewing in the land. Let's see, the final two squares, no ifs, ands, or buts. The title can't include the words the, a, an, or of, if, and something else, but I can't remember. So I have chosen another one of my TBR, and this one actually doesn't have a cover because there was a dust jacket on it, but it was ripped to shreds by one of my cats, who is not in the picture right now. I don't know where she is, she's probably around here somewhere. And it's Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. It's been on my shelf for months, been on my TBR for ages, and yeah, it's a classic, so I don't have to elaborate on this one, I think. And for the last one, Family Matters, Sabriel, aka Abhorsen #1 or The Old Kingdom #1, depending on where you live, by Garth Nix. Yeah, daughter rescues daddy with the help of mommy, according to a friend of mine. Oh yeah, and they are, what's the word? Necromancers. Can't be that bad, can it? A friend of mine actually recommended this to me, and this has been sitting on my shelf for a few months. This one's actually been sitting on my shelf for a long time, but it's only recently that I have found the exact same editions, all three of them, at the same used bookstore. So I bought all three of them. I think it was in January or February as well. Can't remember. So yeah, I completed this. One on my shelf on my TBR, and this was it, guys. This is my how many are these? 4, 8, and 12. So this means I still have to buy minus the short stories and minus the book I've already ordered. Those are 14 books, so I still have to buy or get my hands on 6 other books. But for now, people, mission accomplished. I'll let you know when I finish, what I finish, most likely in my weekly updates, most likely in my wrap-up as well. But we'll see each other soon again. Mission accomplished, guys. Bye-bye.